Welcome to the Atypical Hunter podcast. I'm Chris Begbie, and with me as always is a man who some say has sweat that can actually be used to clean precious metals, the physical specimen, Mr. Kyle Mork. Today we've got a great episode for you. Kyle and I get into how to convince our wives to hunt with us and the gender divide we see in the gun and archery culture today. On a side note, we would love to hear from you on the social media channels that we've got. So subscribe, like, and review us wherever you can, and enjoy the episode.
But that did bring about a pretty good question, was like how to get our wives into hunting, shooting, target shooting, 3D shooting.
Or at least on board is what I'm hoping for. Like, okay with it.
Yeah, the on board part is probably the easier part.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've already kind of hit that part where, for the most part,
got it.
My wife is already like on board. So, because like where we hunt, where I do most of my hunting is Kentucky. So we'll drive down to Kentucky,
Which is where your wife's from.
which is where my wife's from. So she gets to hang out with her family.
And you can go do your thing, and she
And then I
doesn't
get to go-
she doesn't miss you as much because you're
So there's the
you're gone and she's with her kinfolk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She gets to visit with her family. She gets to do what she wants to do. I get to do what I want to do. Everyone's happy.
Right.
So when there's not a hunting season down there, I still hunt. I still
Just have to drink more.
Yeah, a little bit more. I like a few more trips to El Bracero. So it's the greatest Mexican place
Oh yeah.
ever. Hands down. In the heart of Kentucky, which I would never.
Yeah, that's surprising.
You'd imagine like down south.
Is there a big Hispanic population there or something, or just kind of some family opened up a restaurant and it's unbelievable?
I think the Hispanic population are the people that work in El Bracero. But again, back to that whole, the question that it brought about was like how to get your wife on board, how to get your wife into shooting, and
So I'm newer to the hunting, shooting thing. At least the bow thing's new. The gun thing, I've been doing for a while. But how did you get your wife into acceptance mode? I guess is the best question.
really it was just the on board thing with the family. But my new goal is to get her into some sort of target shooting of something.
Yeah.
Because I'll be clear, I don't want her going hunting.
Why?
Because she's intolerant to climate. The cold climate.
The cold would get her.
Yeah, the cold.
My wife's the same way. She would not be good sitting in the cold.
It just wouldn't be enjoyable for her. Like, I mean, we enjoy it because we kind of you build a tolerance to it, and then it just becomes.
Well, I don't know yet. I may not. Who knows? I've not done it. I did it a couple times shotgun, but I haven't done it in Illinois at least. Yeah, I've done it in a slightly more temperate environment in New Jersey. It gets cold, but it's not Illinois cold. So we'll see.
So you might not be on this podcast next year.
Yeah, who knows?
Or just you'll be in the early season part of it.
I'll do spring turkey and early season deer.
Or go down to Texas, which that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I run to get her into shooting somehow. So I've got two different avenues where that's going right now. We've got some neighbors down the road from us here, and the wife wants to go to the gun range.
Does the husband shoot at all?
No.
Okay, so he's new to it.
He doesn't shoot. I don't think he wants to shoot.
Do you know what the genesis of this is, or like why she wants to go?
Probably with the surrounding area around Chicago.
Just wants to
the way that things
protect herself or something like that?
I think so. I think so. I think it's more curiosity than anything else. And actually, honestly, I think for Amanda, for my wife, there's more curiosity in shooting a gun than shooting a bow.
Okay.
Because a gun, I think...
Has Amanda ever shot a gun before?
No. Never shot a gun. And she shot a bow twice, missed the target, and
is done.
Just handed me the bow as I'm done.
Yeah.
So I think I might be barking up the wrong tree with that one. But the gun part...
I don't think Nicole has ever... I don't think my wife has ever shot a bow before. I've taken her handgun shooting a couple times, which she was okay with it. I took her handgun shooting. I took her skeet shooting one time. She hit a couple targets.
Oh, so she's not having fun with it.
Which if we got her like the right gear, I think she would definitely be adjusted to it. But I mean, my gun, it's a big gun for a guy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a huge shotgun. The barrel is super long, way longer than it needs to be for a gun nowadays. It's super old. And I mean, it was probably like 3/4 of the length of her body, basically.
Yeah.
That's how long it is. And like, I can imagine that's pretty unwieldy being a 5'2" woman, like holding this huge shotgun. But she had fun with it. We did it back in Jersey. over Thanksgiving. We went clay pigeon shooting, which was a lot of fun. And then took her handgun shooting, and she tried a couple. She tried a Glock 19, and I think she tried the SIG P 928. She liked the Glock. She's like, it's a little bit too much kickback. If we could get her a 22 or something like that, I think she'd be pretty good because that was a 9mm. So I mean, it wasn't crazy, but I think the gear has a lot to do with it too.
Yeah. So what would be for skeet shooting? Let's start there. What would be the right gun, or what would you try to get Nicole into to go skeet shooting?
20 gauge probably. Just get her something that she could hit the pigeons with and not have her shoulder be blasted by the end of the day.
I was gonna say, would you have her wear a shoulder guard of some kind, or?
I think she'd be okay with just a smaller shell, really, smaller gauge there. I don't know. I shot them, and you get some kickback, but the recoil is definitely not as much as 12 gauge.
Yeah.
I think she could be more comfortable with that if it was locked into the right area of her shoulder. But I think she'd have a good time doing skeet shooting. It's a great hobby, and
yeah,
I mean anyone can do it. It's once you find the right equipment, it's not difficult at all. I mean, and that would be something that you might want to talk to the neighbors about.
Yeah,
do something along those lines.
Doing the skeet shooting thing.
So it's a game, because I mean, unless I don't know about you, but if I go to handgun range or something, I have to play games with myself, or I get bored real fast.
Really?
Yeah. Like I can't just sit there and just like, all right, shoot, go through 100 rounds and then leave.
Yeah.
Like that drives me crazy. So I have like drills that I do and games that I play with myself and things like that. And that's how I would try to keep someone's interest, is play a game.
Yeah, make it entertaining. That's probably something I guess I never would have even thought of making games out of it, or even getting the different targets that have the. I'm sure there's targets that there's obviously multi-target,
right.
five point, or 5-spot, 3-spot, the silhouette and everything. But I'm sure there's other ones that just not shooting guns for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know too much about, but that would probably I wouldn't have ever even thought of that.
The one I was using, it had 4 quadrants, and then each one had a shape and a letter associated to it. And if you go with someone, it's really fun because they can stand behind you and they can say, like square, and then you have to hit the square as fast as possible, or they can say F, and you have to shoot the F.
Okay, so you're
or something like that, yeah. And it makes it more fun, and then you can play games with each other and see who does better and how fast you can go and things like that, which makes it a lot more entertaining.
Gotcha.
Because I have a pretty short attention span, so if I'm just going and shoot at a target over and over again, I get pretty bored.
I feel like when I go, I'm just like sending it all the time.
Just non-stop downrange.
Especially at a gun range, I'm just blow through, just shoot.
Yeah.
I mean, with some sort of, systematic approach to it of some kind.
Right.
But, I don't think I would ever have thought of making going for this target, that target, or having someone call it out. And part of that's probably because one of the places that I went. So this is, I guess, there's a checklist that I had for the gun range, for getting them into it. And one of it is which range you go to. And there's one out in Plainfield here where the guys are jerks that work there.
Really?
Yeah, and they're
They're
strict, but they're kind of pompous at the same time. So it's kind of turned me off the place, both behind the gun counter and the guys that are working at the range. Now I understand you have to be strict,
right,
when it comes to gun range, but it's these guys.
They're not welcoming to newcomers or new shooters or something.
It's that, and they're just very I know more than you. Don't talk to the point where it's it would be intimidating to someone who knows.
Yeah. Check on that.
Yeah, I gotta check on that.
All right. Be right back.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a minor pause. Okay, so we had a set of 12 wine glasses that we got for our wedding, and my daughter just made sure that now we only have 11.
All right.
Yeah, so Baker's done a dozen minus 2. So back to where I was with Bill. Can you let me know if you can hear us on Facebook Live? Bill from Pennsylvania just told me to turn the volume up. I adjusted it. Hopefully you guys can hear it a little bit. But if you can't, this will be posted within the next couple of days. So the range that you go to is obviously it's got to be somewhat welcoming.
Right.
You know, and in archery range is the same thing. There's some places that I know that we've gone to that like they won't even let you test the bows, but that's a digression for another time.
I've also learned. I mean, I've not been to a range in Illinois, but places I have lived can definitely play a part in that. Like living in Virginia, I've been to the NRA range, which is their headquarter range, which is super strict, which you would expect. You know, they can't have any bad publicity at that range. You know, but then even the ones around that, they'll vary in sophistication and strictness and how they interact with people and things like that.
Yeah. Well, they'll kind of tailor it to like if you're new, like go this way, and we'll show you what to do.
There's a place I went to in college who they were pretty geared towards beginners, and they would rent out guns and do lessons and things like that. And I mean, if you're doing lessons, you kind of have to be someone who's willing to work with new people.
Yeah.
Which, you know, if you're an ass about it, no one's going to want a lesson from you. So we're not going to be that way. Another thing, which is a shame in Illinois, is that you're not allowed to have suppressors here.
Not yet.
Which I recently learned, and that can make a huge difference in the enjoyability of shooting, because having a suppressor on anything makes it so much more enjoyable.
I'm really glad you said that.
And less intimidating.
Yeah. Like, Amanda had asked me, there have been some questions already, like, you know, when's a good time to go? Saturday afternoon at 11 o'clock is not a good time to go because you get the bozo with the 44 Magnum. Right. Like,
shooting right near.
It's like he goes to every range at that time.
Yeah.
And, like, he shoots it, and then everyone does the
hell was that?
Does the look like...
Who brought the cannon?
Yeah, who brought the cannon?
Right.
So, you know, I mean, after work, I had told her, I was like, after work is probably the best time to go. I mean, you get some people that are going to go and blow off some steam there, maybe, but you're not going to get the guy with the 44 Magnum, or multiple people with the 44 Magnum.
Yeah, that was always my favorite time when I was living in Virginia. Was I'd hop out right after work and either hit the trap range or ski shooting range or course rather, or the handgun range or something like that. It's way better. It's less crowded. People there are usually not new, because they're going for an hour. Yeah, they're going home, not doing lessons or trying new stuff or anything. It's just kind of they're going to practice or, like you said, let off steam or something like that.
Yeah. It's what you. How close is that to where you worked? Or where you lived?
Where I lived, it was a lot closer to where I lived. It was probably like 35 minutes. So I was going to the Bull Run Sporting Clays in Virginia, and that was about 35 minutes from Arlington.
Okay.
Well, it should have been like 5 minutes from Arlington, but because of DC traffic, it would take you quite some time to get out there.
Yeah.
That was a great place. They had a lot of great courses, and they actually had an archery range in their basement that they had, which was kind of cool, and an archery outdoor range as well. I didn't do that then because I wasn't really doing the bow thing then.
Yeah.
But it was fun for the gun stuff. Another thing would be really fun, I think, for the ladies in our lives to do would be some long range shooting.
Yeah.
Because when you have the full muffs on, and I mean the noise doesn't really bother you. The kickback can be a little much, but it's more fun in distance because it's pretty challenging.
Yeah.
And that just makes it more interesting.
Yeah. I would say probably the plan, at least at this point, is I have a Mossberg Tactical 22, which is really just a 22 rifle encased in plastic AR platform.
Yeah.
So the first hurdle I gotta get over is it's a scary looking gun. So it looks like it would be, to anybody who hasn't shot before, it looks like it would be like, a lot of kick. It's just scary. People are just scared of it. But if I can get her to the range with that gun, and just one with oh,
Yeah, I
this
mean
is
that's
just a
like shooting a
click.
BB gun.
Yeah, it's really just shooting a BB gun. I think that's going to open the floodgates.
Yeah.
And I mean, long range shooting, like, I really want to get out to long range shooting because it just seems so satisfying once you get on target. At like,
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I mean, long range I only have shot up to 100 yards, but 3, 5, 7, 1,000 yards would be really, really.
That's
cool.
just going to be difficult around here, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We don't have anything like that. We're going to have to go out west and just find some land that we can just shoot at.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Right. Well, the range out here used to, and then
It's got rid of that.
yeah, the bullets ended up in people's yards.
Yeah, no one wants that.
Or someone complained. That's just kind of how it goes. So one person ruins it for everybody.
Yeah.
But the good thing is there's hope. Both, for both our wives to get into some kind of shooting. The other was last night. So when we went out to dinner last night with another friend, his wife and him both bought recurve bows, and Jeremy has shot with. I've shot with Jeremy plenty of times, and I'm sure we'll shoot with Jeremy again. But his wife's bow still hasn't come out of the packaging yet. So they were talking. It sounded like they were kind of making plans.
Yeah. So what was she do? I mean, she wanted to do it, and then she got it, and it was just I don't care anymore.
So she saw Hunger Games.
Yeah,
and
that's why she wanted to do it.
Honestly, I think that's how a lot of women have gotten into this sport, which is great. Like whatever it takes. Like I think it's incredibly it's awesome. Whatever it takes to get in. Like it doesn't matter. And people say like, oh, Hunger Games, but hey, it worked. So she bought a good bow. Like she didn't go buy like the Amazon $100 bow, but
she was getting into
I got
to be
here.
real. Like,
she got it to do something with it, to actually get good at it.
Yeah.
At least I imagine. So they were already starting to make plans. Like we should just go without anybody there and shoot.
Right.
And I think they kind of were like looking at us like you guys aren't invited. So it's like we almost have to like send in somebody to walk up and say, hey, do you guys have any questions? Like, hey, like.
Yeah, I get that. I
Jeff
mean,
Sanchez would be a good one from Bodoc. Just kind of send him over there.
Yeah, that's true, and have him give like a lesson.
The right way.
Right. I mean, I was like that even. I mean, this is going way back, but like playing football as a kid. My dad is an excellent football player. Played in college, had scholarship offers to a bunch of good schools, and he would tell me something about football, and I'd be like, I don't want to hear this from you.
Yeah.
Like, I want to hear it from a neutral third party who has nothing invested in me. For some reason, that's just the way I was, and I can understand, why our wives wouldn't want to do something like that.
Yeah.
It's just, it's less intimidating, and, if they look stupid, then they don't look stupid in front of us. And I think that's a big thing about it.
Well, they don't want to be told what to do.
Yeah. I don't even really know what to do yet either, so I'm still figuring it out on my own.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to think we know a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, like what excites me, and I'm sure you too, is if they were to get into shooting the gun or get into shooting the bow, like that's something we could do together.
Yeah.
Well,
I'd much rather my wife get into shooting the bow because it's a lot less expensive than shooting a gun, that's for sure.
Yeah, right after we just finished setting up my retirement. Yeah, we're gonna I think it's more expensive on the upfront cost, but then as long as she's on target.
Right, not breaking a bunch of arrows.
Yeah, that's a topic for another podcast for sure. But yeah, the upfront cost of a bow is a little much. So, but yeah, I would much rather prefer her shoot bow too. Because then, you can do it in the backyard. As long as you're not sending it to the neighbor's yard.
Right, I mean, that's why I like it. Like, I can go out back, shoot for half an hour, and it doesn't make any noise, doesn't disturb anybody.
Yeah.
And then I'm done.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I got into it was, and somewhere along the line, I talked about this story with somebody. I know I was telling you the other day, but, I was on a podcast. Oh, it was a Bow Hunter Chronicles podcast. They had asked me how I got into it. I was just like, I was in the gun section looking for a new shotgun. Yeah. And then I just decided, let's go over to the archery section. This is at Bass Pro Shop, and I bought a Bear Instinct at the time. But I was like, this seems way more practical to be able to practice in the backyard. And at the time I was living at my parents' house, so I had a great 60, 70-yard shot, which I tried right off the bat and lost 4 arrows. So I went and bought like Easton
Axis or something.
Yeah, they were Easton Axis arrows, and they weren't the cheapest arrows in the world. So I sent 4 like way over the target, thinking, oh, I could do this, no problem. And I moved up to 20 yards pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's a good way to do that.
But,
yeah, I could definitely see that, and it does get expensive. I was shooting a lot in Virginia, and it's just like you go through so many rounds, and then you have to pay range fees and like all different stuff, and
yeah,
just got to the point where I still shoot to maintain proficiency, but it's definitely not as much as I was doing in the past.
Yeah,
and with the bow, it's just so nice. And now we're so busy. I mean, you're even busier than me, and I've never been busier in my life. And to find the time to go to the gun range is very difficult.
Yeah.
But at least I can hop out in the backyard for, half hour, an hour, and that's enough.
Yeah. This would probably be our gun range time, but we've decided to share.
Right. But I mean, like,
Sure,
you have to.
else.
I guess the closest gun range isn't too far. 20 minutes away from us, something like that.
So a handgun range?
Yeah.
It's around the corner.
Oh, that's right. We have that one right there.
Believe it or not. But it's a little sketchy. But I mean, for us, it'd be good for. I don't know if I would send Amanda and Nicole.
No.
I don't think so.
Kind of skeezy or something, or what?
Just, I think they've had some incidences there.
Yeah, you don't want incidents. That's not a
Yeah,
good word.
an incident at a gun range is not a good thing.
Yeah.
So I've even stayed out of there for the most part. But there's one by my hometown, which isn't too far away. That would probably be. It's actually skeezier, or a little sleazier place, like a little dirtier. But
yeah.
The people are nice there. They're very welcoming. If you don't know what you're doing, they'll walk out there with you. Like it's about it's about the people.
Right. It's like going into a bar. They don't care if it's a dirty bar if people are nice.
Exactly. Or like now that we're adults, like for daycare, we pick daycare by the people, not necessarily by the facility.
Right.
Funny how things change like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, and actually Andy just reminded us here. Point Break is only 5 minutes further than Midwest Guns. So, and actually at Point Break, Andy, I don't know. Let us know, man, because I think you can shoot ARs there too, can't you? If you can hear me.
Do they not do that at the one around the corner?
Nope.
You can't do ARs?
No center fire rifles.
Interesting.
So that's the other part, is there's not many gun
Why?
ranges.
Is it a really short range or something?
20 yards.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it might be 20, 30 yards at the most.
Right.
So, or I'm sorry, maybe 50. Don't quote me on any of that information. Yeah, he said, yeah, and Andy used to sell, firearms at, it was Galleons at the time. I don't know if he worked there when it was Dick's, but he used to sell firearms there. So that's kind of my go-to about gun information at this point.
Speaking of Dick's, I went in there the other day. They got rid of the lodge section, which I just saw. It's pretty pissed off.
Which one did you go to?
This is in Michigan. I was visiting the in-laws.
Oh, in Michigan they got rid of the lodge section.
Yeah, we went to. So there was a Field and Stream across the street, and then a Dick's, and I was looking for
Dick's.
Yeah. No, I was looking for some camouflage. I forget what it was now. And they didn't have it at Field and Stream. I was like, well, let's go check Dick's and see if they've got it. And check out the lodge and walk in. Like, yeah, we don't have that anymore. God damn.
Any backs? I know why they.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone anybody's in the outdoor industry kind of knows why they did that, but. Yeah.
Which is another thing. Like the hunting industry is trying. Like their way of getting women into hunting has been historically with like pink guns and pink bows and crap like that.
Yeah.
It seems so stupid to me.
Yeah.
I mean, would Amanda ever wear or use a pink bow or anything like that? Like, I feel like if a woman's going to get into hunting, they're going to want a hunting bow.
Yeah.
Not a fake pink camouflage bow.
I know. I can't even tell you the closest to that, and it still like looks like a legit bow, is the Eva Shockey edition of the Bowtech.
Well, I don't know that one. What's that one?
It's the same camo that you would see on a traditional hunting, because it's a regular hunting bow.
Right.
And a lot of the women that compete and train to hunt, I've seen a few of them already. They use that one. Just the accents are teal. But I mean, you look at the accents on anybody else. I mean, mine are green.
Right.
Other people put pink on there, so there's really no difference in it.
Right.
But the main parts, as far as being pink bows, and target shooters, 3D shooters, like like Levi Morgan and everything, he's got pink all over his bow.
It just seems like such a cheap way to try to lure women into the sport.
Yeah, I think especially for archery,
superficial at least.
I don't think people bought into that whole marketing scheme. Now it's like, it's like the fitness part of it, and the Western hunter. I think that's been a huge draw. That.
Yeah, I could definitely see that being a draw too. I mean, if you can incorporate, the fitness community aspect of it.
Yeah.
And the camaraderie, because that draws in a ton of people.
Yeah.
Like, that's why CrossFit was so big and is still big, is because of the community aspect. And I'm sure Train to Hunt has its own community.
It's the same
and like.
Well, but Train to Hunt, Mountain Ops, Wilderness Athlete, all those different companies, like they've done a really good job at just trying to bring as many people in as possible.
Right.
Because I want to they really want to share everything about it. So men, women, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But onto the color topic here, Travis Jones said he's got a pink blaze orange in Wisconsin. Jesus. That's Travis. You're gonna have to send us a picture of that one. We might have to post a picture of that, Bo. But yeah, I think
they should make that the new regulation, where if it's firearm season, you can wear pink or blaze orange.
Yeah, or your bow has to be blaze orange. Because and actually, I think in Wisconsin, you have to, if you're bow hunting during gun season, you have to wear blaze orange.
Yeah, that's pretty normal.
Is it?
Anytime it's gun season, you have to wear the orange.
Yeah, we don't have much of a gun season.
No?
Well, it's just like 2 weekends, and you can't bow hunt.
Yeah,
In most
true.
regions, at least, you can't bow hunt during those weekends. So it's it's a flintlock or the
muzzle
loader or the deer slug shotgun.
Yeah.
So and those are usually the weekends that I can hunt here.
Right. But yeah, that's the Thanksgiving hunts usually, and
Sometime around there.
Right.
Christmas
and then,
time. But it's not too bad.
Right. But I don't think I could ever get Nicole actually hunting, like we talked about before. I mean,
No way.
definitely could get her to shoot once in a while. Don't think I could get her into the bow. I'm gonna have to try. That's the goal for the fall, is to see if I can get her into doing something.
Into the bow.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of finding other people that do it that she relates to.
Yeah.
And that would be it. Because I mean, it's one thing if your dad hunts and he passes it on to his son or his daughter like that. That would be how you would do it, I guess. But if my wife's mom has never hunted, which she hasn't and probably never will, Nicole's not going to do it. That's just not what they did. So that's not going to be what they do.
Right.
And I think that's the big hang up is kind of it's almost a cultural thing.
Yeah. The relatability too.
Right.
I mean, honestly, that's how I got. I mean, I hunted for a long time, and then I was starting to make the switch back over to, just waterfowl, just straight waterfowl hunting, because it was just I was kind of getting discouraged a little bit, but at the same time, it was I was losing interest in it.
Yeah.
And people will judge for this, but I don't care. Then the Cam Haines phenomenon started coming up, and then I was just it's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I mean, the thing is, it is still really cool. People have kind of diluted it a little bit, but that's how I got back into the bow. So it was there was that relatable thing too, where it's just you work out.
Well, he's been an interesting case because he's changed sort of the idea of what a hunter looks like, I think, and that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Because, the way Hollywood and media projects a hunter usually is a bad guy or a guy that
redneck.
Redneck guy who's drinking beer and is usually fat and out of shape and doesn't really take care of themselves and just going out sitting in a tree stand, shoot something, and walks 50 yards back to his truck with the deer kind of thing. And that's just not the case. And it's good that's the one thing that Cam is doing better than anybody, is showing how much fitness is involved. I mean, he's obviously to the utmost extreme of the fitness level involved.
Yeah.
But it's a good testament when people say they go hunting with him and they're like, he's headed over these mountains super fast and I'm sucking wind and can't keep up and missing out on opportunities and things like that.
You listened to the Joe Rogan, didn't you?
Yeah, I listen to Joe's podcast religiously. Joe's got a great podcast. But I mean, it's stuff like that, and I think where I've been scouting and looking at places. I mean, it took me 45 minutes on a trail, not even through the woods, just on a regular, easy to walk trail to get to the spot that I wanted to get to. And I'm thinking, okay, if I've got 150-pound deer here and I got to take this out, it's going to take me an hour and a half to get this thing out. I have to be in some level of shape to be able to form or function and get this out of here.
Be in shape and have the time.
Right, exactly. So
when you got 45 minutes in, and you realized that you needed to be home a little earlier, what happened?
Shit, yeah. that was the time when the wife said, you need to be home at this time, and I was like, all right, well, I'll leave myself 20 minutes to get back to the Jeep, and that should be fine. And then not realizing how far in I was like, okay, better start running. So, hit it a little harder than I should have, or I should have just paced that out a little bit better. But yeah, I mean, it was basically a 2-mile run in not very good exercise gear back to the car. I was pretty beat up after that. Nice heavy boots on and pants and big jacket and everything.
Got that sweat that's just not going anywhere.
Right. Yeah. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. See, that's why, and that's obviously, a little bit more extreme or unusual case, but I mean, you're going to be in situations. This is why I don't think I'll ever push Amanda to hunt, because you're going to be in situations where you're going to be feeling like that, where you're just, you could spend a whole ton of money on the best gear and it's going to really minimize that, but at some point, you're going to feel kind of miserable.
Oh yeah.
And I just don't think that my wife would ever like.
It's the embrace the suck feature.
Yeah. I mean, there's some, and I'm not saying all women. I'm just saying my wife wouldn't enjoy that. That's why I push more towards the target thing than anything else.
Yeah, and that's definitely something that's way easier. It's you can be out there when it's nice.
Yeah.
You're not going to go when it's raining or super cold if you don't want to.
Yeah.
You can go.
You're not missing opportunities then.
Right. Exactly. And you can have a nice time with friends, and we do that.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you want to come shoot out in the backyard for a few minutes? Sure.
Yeah.
All right. It's not bad. You can have have a beer while you're doing it or afterwards or something like that, and it's social and it's fun.
Yeah.
That's probably the best way to get our ladies into that.
Yeah.
But then it's just a matter of the equipment and having them take that step.
Yeah.
Making sure they have something that fits them, because my wife's not going to shoot my bow, and
it's definitely not going to shoot my bow.
Right. So that's a big hurdle is getting them to want to buy the equipment.
Yeah.
And then you come into this weird area of do you want to get them crappy equipment or do you want to get them something that's pretty good?
Yeah, you get something
so they have a
lasts
good experience,
a long time.
but then you don't know if they're going to want to do it. So it's like this whole conundrum of.
I think I figured out the solution for that one as we're talking about it though. Resale value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just buy something you can sell for a good amount.
Yeah. So if you buy something maybe secondhand.
Yeah.
Whatever the case may be, but just always sell it as if you don't like this, we can always just sell it on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace or whatnot. So.
Yeah, that's true. And I was fortunate I didn't have to buy mine. Like I mentioned, I inherited or was given a hand-me-down from my dad, which is the easy way to do that. And I haven't even bought my own first bow yet.
Yeah.
That'll be a hurdle. So I think that's going to be the toughest thing.
So you're going to have to sell that to your wife in a different way.
That's going to be the biggest hurdle probably. I could probably get her to, if I had a bow and I was like, hey, this is designed for you. You should try this. She would try it, I think.
Yeah.
But she's going to be like, I'm not spending $500 or whatever it may be on a bow to shoot a couple times. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right.
I think this is an opportune time to welcome any sponsorships that might be listening to the podcast at this point. Or
send us a ladies' bow.
Yep. If there's a bow company out there that's really looking to market to women and wants a success story, we'll do our best to make it happen.
Yeah.
We don't. We say that kind of tongue, unless you're going to do it. We say that kind of tongue in cheek at this point.
Right. Yeah. That's definitely going to be the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Is finding something that's reasonable
because fit is so important with a bow.
Yeah.
It really makes or breaks. And I'm still not, certain that the bow that I have is really fitted to me the right way.
Why? What's wrong with
I think the draw length is too long, but it's, with bows, you go to different people and they give you different answers and everything too.
Yeah, it's so subjective and it's
that
just
conundrum.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know my draw length is a little bit too long.
Yeah. Yours doesn't even stop. That's the crazy part.
Yeah. It goes basically until there's no more string left. But
that could be way back here.
Yeah. It's I'm back to usually my first knuckles at the back of my jawbone.
Yeah.
It's kind of where I hold that, which is way too long.
Yeah.
But I even have a pretty long draw length anyway. It's probably 29 and a half. But I think this one's at 31. I think so. It's pretty long.
Yeah, you're shooting full cut arrows too.
Yeah.
Or full length arrows.
Yeah, uncut arrows.
So. And actually, I'm looking right now. I'm seeing who just logged on. I see Mitch Baker just logged on. His wife Liz, she goes hammer down at train to hunt. And actually, she competed train to hunt pregnant.
Wow.
Which is crazy. So she does the whole. She's definitely an outlier.
Right.
You know what? That actually might be a good person for our wives to meet.
Well, I was thinking, we need to talk with someone, a woman who is into hunting or shooting, and just kind of pick their brains as to why.
Yeah.
I think that would be super interesting.
That would be
because I have my own motivations, and you have your own motivations, but I'm not a woman. I don't think you are. So,
no. I mean,
it would be nice
it is 2019. People tend to be fluid in different ways, but I am.
So it would be nice to sort of hear some, Genesis stories of why and, how.
Yeah.
I mean, like, my mom didn't hunt. I don't think your mom hunted.
No.
I mean, my mom was always comfortable with my father hunting and fishing and doing all that, but she doesn't have any intention of ever doing that.
Yeah.
And she'll cook and eat whatever my dad brings home, but that's about it. So it's a weird dynamic.
I think I got another tactic because the gears are always rolling when we're talking about this stuff. And since there's so many people that are listening on Facebook Live right now, I think they should just flood our wives' social media with you can definitely do this positive encouragement.
Right.
So, Amanda Eads, she's on Instagram and Facebook. And
send it over.
Yeah, just send it. I've tried that before. There's been plenty of people that like they've seen pictures of like my wife or something on Instagram, and and then clearly they're bow hunters from out west. I'm like,
I should grab my wife's phone and her Instagram and just like have her follow a bunch of women hunters.
Oh yeah,
secretly, and she's gonna be like, "What the hell is all this stuff?"
Hashtag get Nicole and Amanda bow hunting.
Yeah, exactly.
Or bow shooting a bow.
Right.
That would be great.
Yeah, because it's just kind of like a confirmation bias almost. Like the more you see it, the more you think it's okay.
Yeah. Well, it becomes less intimidating too.
Right.
That's the biggest thing when it all comes down to it. It's just it's the unknown.
Right.
And you have to have a personality to not be intimidated by things, or have gone through a whole lot of crap to just not let anything intimidate you anymore. But the general public, at some point in time, you're going to be intimidated by the unknown.
Right.
So that's the biggest thing. So that's like the biggest hurdle is the unknown, and not overwhelming.
Right.
Because I would say for me, like to get Amanda in, the thing I have to watch myself the most is to be overwhelming. Because I get into something and I'm like, it's like I'm either 0 or 60.
Yeah.
And then I go beyond 60, like I'm Spinal Tap, I'll crank it up to 11 with anything I get into.
Yeah.
So, like, that can be overwhelming. Then it's to the point where it's just like, it's so damn overwhelming that no one wants to listen. No one wants to listen.
I'm the same way. Like, once I go into it, it's full bore.
Yeah.
And she just doesn't have that. She kind of has to, like, get into it and get comfortable and then kind of work her way into it. And then she becomes an expert at it, but it's just a matter of taking those first couple steps and easing her way in. She's not a jump in feet first type of person. Yeah. She's a take some baby steps.
Yeah. And let's do the fun run first.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And then get into it. So we'll get there. I think. I'd love to get her shooting. I think that would be a great thing for us to do together. And then once we have kids, it would be fun. To have the whole family do it, which, I know there's families out there that everyone's pretty much involved, and that's pretty awesome. Yeah. I think that'd be a great thing to do.
So, because I know some Mitch and some other people that I know went out there for Coos deer. Mm-hmm. And it's a different season, too, which is different. Yeah. And being along the border, there's some other different things to deal with, too. Yeah. So, we might just actually have to have Mitch and Liz both on this podcast.
Yeah.
And just talk about all that stuff, too.
But it was awesome. Saw some mule deer, saw some elk for the first time. Which was really cool. And the country out there is just amazing. It's like, I don't know why we live in. I don't know why don't we live out this way?
It's just like everything looks beautiful out west.
Right, yeah.
And maybe it's not always beautiful, but it just seems like it'd be way prettier and way more.
It's just enjoyable. Way more things to look at.
Yeah,
it seems like.
Yeah, better view.
Right, exactly. But yeah, we should talk about that in a later day.
Yeah. But speaking of later day, we have the Game of Thrones finale tonight.
Yes, we got to get on that.
So we are going to go ahead and cut it off here, I think.
Yeah.
So everyone, thanks for tuning in on Facebook Live. We really like when we can do it like this. And stay tuned for the episode. Will be up on all the podcast platforms pretty soon. So this is Kyle and Chris just signing off for the night. So see you guys later.
Adios.